Well, Mr. Bond, it appears I have you all in my clutches once again. Actually, you know what? The only reason I'm doing this Bond intro, James Bond intro, is because I have a cat in my lap and I'm petting it evilly. However, I just noticed that because this cat is black and I'm wearing a black shirt, that this design choice is really going to clash and no one can really see the cat right now. Say hello to the camera. Look over there. Say hi. Say hi to everyone. Stop fighting me, you goof. Wanna go? Go. Go. That's right. Leave me. Leave me like my ex-girlfriend. Whatever. Welcome to the worst intro that I've ever done in this show. My name is Trevor Tiger, and welcome back to another episode of reading / reacting / first viewing of a One Piece chapter. Let's see, last time on One Piece, chapter 879, we had a build-up chapter, which was the Straw Hats escaped Big Mom, well, for about 5 seconds, really, as they were immediately chased by Big Mom, who was able to walk across the sea because Sparrow made I don't want to say a river, more like a bridge of candy that she could just walk across. And meanwhile, Luffy wasn't having a good time against Katakuri. Anything that he could do, Katakuri could toss back at him with his mochi fruit. And that was pretty much it. How is Luffy going to beat Katakuri? What I want to see is either a Gear 4 battle, where it's just the force that he has is enough to take him down. Or is it going to be, you know, Luffy's going to incorporate fire to take down the mochi attacks? I'm fine with whatever happens. So with that, let's just get started, shall we? Same rules as usual. You know, I know I keep repeating myself, but, you know, I kind of have to at this point. I'm not going to show every page. I'm not going to show every panel because I'm not going to get copyright striked. I'm also going to do silly impersonations, and that's all I got so far. So let's just get right to it. Let's begin with the title page, the cover page. One Piece, chapter 880. No Way Out. I wonder if that's what the editor says to Oda every time, like every week. You know, Oda's just saying, like, I have finished this One Piece chapter. Can I leave now? And then the editor just slowly closes the door behind him. It's like, there is no way out, Oda. You're going to write at least 500 more chapters for us. And then Oda's just like, fuck. All right, so, let's see. We're dropping in with the, we're still continuing Sai's little mini adventure where his wife, sister, whatever, has apparently taken the throne. What in the hell? Dropping in on the lives of the Straw Hat Grand Pirate Fleet, Volume 14, Sai Arc. And here I was, thinking I'd make him my 26th husband. Honestly, that's what I have to say about this. I don't really care about that little mini arc. Whatever, I don't care about Sai. Show me more Bartholomew and Cavendish. All right, so moving right along. We have now we begin in Cacao Island, Chocolate Town, where we reconvene with Puddin and Chiffon and Sanji. And I guess people are noticing them as they're saying, Lady Puddin, Lady Chiffon, ah, fluffy minister. If the fluffy minister isn't a cat, then I'm going to be pissed. Like a half man, half cat. Then if the fluffy minister is not that, I'm going to be pissed. 0 out of 10 chapter right off the bat. Anyway, we then see Puddin in town, and I need to give her a silly voice, so I think I'll just give her Taya from Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. It's okay. Chiffon here wasn't the culprit behind the mutiny. Her husband, Dang Beiji, is the one to blame. And Chiffon is just like, ugh. All right, let's analyze. Why is she in handcuffs? Why is Chiffon in handcuffs? Actually, no, I think I know why, because she's kind of public enemy number 1. Okay. All right, so yeah, in the next panel, we do see put on handcuffs on Chiffon. And she's saying, in a flashback, I'm so sorry, Chiffon. At the moment, the stories that I'm threatening you is that you're forced to make this cake with me. And then Chiffon's like, it's okay, Puddin. Why did I give her that voice? That's a terrible voice. It's okay, Puddin'. I know what people think of me. I'm just another Lola clone. This is just like the Fox and Falco and Martha and Roy story from Smash Brothers Bailey. I know what I am. I'm just a stupid clone. Anyway, moving on to the next page. We then see a random guy, I guess, that's in charge of the town. Be like, my, Lady Puddin', all that's happened today. I heard the story. To think your joyous wedding celebration was dashed by the barging in of the Straw Hats in Paige's revolt. How did they know they were? Wait, did they know that the Straw Hats got in the way? I assume they got. I assume the people like maybe heard like a warning or got like the news that the Straw Hats did something, because you gotta remember when these people were just hours earlier, we're expecting to hear and see like this wedding take place and that everyone was going to have a nice time, whatever. They were expecting to see Sanji Puddin' as a couple. But as far as they knew, when Big Mom's cake tower exploded with everyone on it, you just pretend you're a normal citizen. You're living out your day, just walking around, and then you're just like, man, this is gonna be a big day. I bet Big Mom's gonna be very happy. And then suddenly you hear a distant boom in the distance. You look over to the main island, and you see this giant cake tower slowly crumbling to the ground. And you're just looking up at the tower, just like, oh God, what has happened? That's what a normal citizen would react to that. Like, would someone just look up there? It's like, oh my God, Big Mom and her tower falling down. Are we free? Okay, moving on. So Puddin's like, yes, but there's no helping what's already happened. And the guy's just like, and Mama's flown into such a rage. Indeed, her rage and hunger may yet destroy this country itself. Have the arrangements been made? I'm making her sound worse the more I read this. All right. About an hour ago, 31 chefs arrived from Whole Cake Island. Ooh, okay, that's all right. 31 chefs. How many chefs does it take to make a cake for a Yonko? The answer may surprise you. More than 11. So on the next page, you see this bear man, and is that a corn man? Or is that a peanut man? Hold on. Let me share this with you. What is that? What in the unholy name is this? Right panel, rightmost panel. The guy in the middle. What in the hell is that? I'm pretty sure that's like a peanut man now. It's what's it like the peanut, it's the mascot for like that one peanut company that has like the monocle on the top hat. I forget his name, but it's just like, is that the peanut mascot's long lost brother? This is where he's been this entire time, just lost on a Big Mom's island, hoping that one day he doesn't get eaten or added on to cake as an ingredient. Though whoever would put peanuts on a cake is beyond me. All right, so anyway, the Bearman's like, as the bride, you were the one affected the most by this incident, and yet I am doing terrible today reading. I apologize. And Puddin's like, leave it to me. I won't let Mama destroy this country. And then everyone's like, Puddin'. Aw, no, look at that. Hold on. Let's bring that back up. Let's show that image again. On the leftmost panel, look at everyone just be like, Puddin'. Aw, look carefully, everyone. That was us not too long ago. And then when the big reveal that Puddin' was kind of evil, we then had this face. Anyway, moving on now. Next page. We then see the army of chefs. Jesus Christ. You know what? If these chefs were not introduced so late in the arc, I assume that they could be like an army of villains that the Straw Hats had to face. They're kind of like the CP9 of Whole Cake Island. All right, so the chef who kind of looked, who's yelling, and I guess I'll be French for this because he kind of looks French. We've been waiting for you, Lady Pudding. We've begun the initial preparations. And meanwhile, we then transition to Chocolate Town Sweets Factory. Let's take a look at this Sweets Factory, shall we? All right, doesn't look too bad. It looks kind of small, actually. Or not, well, it's a big building, but it doesn't look like there's much inside to say. I don't know. I'll probably be wrong. So who's this speaking? Townspeople, I have a request for all of you. Who is that? Oh, it's Puddin speaking. We're betting our lives, God damn it, I can't read. And the very fate of this country on this cake. Which, so really, it's like another Tuesday afternoon for us. We need to be able to focus as best we can. Please, do not peek inside the factory during the preparations, and do not allow anyone that arrives here, regardless of who they may be, to peek either. What if it's Big Mom? That just puts a hole in your little theory? Like, let's just assume that Big Mom, knowing her, just like catches up with the Straw Hats, kills them all, decapitates them all, and just like starts walking back. She's like, I still didn't get my wedding cake. And then she asks, like, where's Puddin'? And then everyone's just like, oh, she's in the Chocolate Town Sweets Factory. Big Mom goes to the Sweets Factory, stops in front of the building, and townspeople are just like, no, stop, Big Mom. Oh, jeez, you can't peek in there. Lady Puddin' gave us orders that no one's allowed to peek in, regardless who they may be. And then Big Mom's just like, grabs the roof, rips it off, and looks inside. And it's like, Puddin', where's the cake? And then she sees Sanji baking the cake, and it's just like, no. The end. All Straw Hats killed, except for Zoro. He's the captain that we need. All right, moving on to the next page. We then proceed to, hold on, it's taking forever to load. Load, damn you! Load! There we go. All right, so, God damn it. We then move on to the next panel. Do not give me Wi-Fi trouble right now. There we go. Okay, we hear you, Lady Puddin', as the crowd rejoices. Best of luck! And now Puddin's like, now Sanji shouldn't get spotted. Oh, I'm sorry. Now Sanji shouldn't get spotted. I'm giving her a terrible voice, and she deserves it. Chefs, come in one at a time, please. Okay, and then we immediately transition to one of the chefs walking in. It's like, Kitchen 1, head chef, Booch. Bucci? Bolshe? Bolsh? Whatever. I'm calling you Botch. Reported for duty. And Puddin' has manipulated his memories. Okay, I get what's going on. So each of the chefs, I'm going to bet, are walking in one at a time so that Puddin' can manipulate the memories so that they can all work alongside Sanji or whatever. I bet that's the game plan. I think that's the only way. Also, the reason why it took me a second to realize that is because I'm distracted by this chef's word bubble of being hit by Puddin's ability, where it's just, hack! I love these word bubbles. They give me such joy. Meanwhile, inside the factory, Sanji... Well, I never really gave a voice. Who should I give him? Should I do the terrible thing and give Sanji the 4Kids dub voice? Hey, Luffy, I got an idea. Well then. Alright. Oi, I'm coming out. Would you like to see my lollipop? Okay, actually, no, never mind. That's a terrible voice, and I refuse to do that ever again. Alright, so, phew. There you are. Okay, there are too many voices going on at once. Moving on now. Alright. So I think Sanji's still talking. We're pretty short on time, so I drew up a diagram for the design of the cake while I was wrapped up in there. And Chival's like, oh, you remember what it looked like? More or less. More or less. Knowing Sanji, he probably made like this giant, like a giant food blueprint that had each layer of cake meticulously designed. It's like first at the top you need like 50 strawberries, and then on the second tier you're gonna have like a strawberry design. You're gonna have like swirly vanilla decorations all over it, like that kind of stuff. All right, so moving on. Chevron's like, what? I get that you know what it looked like, but how do you have any idea what it was made with? And then Sanji's just like, by its smell. By its smell. Call me crazy, or my nose just hasn't worked before in my life, but can you smell cake? I don't remember if I ever smelled cake before. I mean, I'm sure it has something to it. Maybe in the One Piece world, cakes just smell good. I don't... Can you smell cake? This is probably going to be the dumbest question I ever asked on this stream or any of my YouTube career, but what does cake smell? Actually, you know what? Detour, let's Google that, shall we? Does cake smell? I swear, I'm going to get like terrible answers. Does cake smell? But now scientists finding that you don't actually need to smell something for the smell effect to entice you. As to either, okay, what does chocolate cake? Okay, that was just the first article. How does a writer describe taste and smell? Describe and smell. Why is there something called describe and smell when I ask, does cake smell? You know what? Fine. Let's just assume that that cake smell. Whatever. Detour avoided. Okay. There's also another thing that kind of gets to me. You have this giant wedding feast, and Sanji wasn't distracted at all by the aromas of the other foods that would probably smell more than a goddamn cake, like meat, for instance. Like, do you think Sanji just by accident just smelled like a barbecue portion of the feast? And he's like, oh man, I bet that's the cake. And then he makes like this barbecue cake feast for Big Mom. Anyway, moving on now. So Puddin in a chef uniform, so right now, DeviantArt and Tumblr are going fucking nuts. Puddin's just kind of like, all right, snap to it, every minute counts. And then Sun's like, whoa, Puddin looks so cute as a cook. And Puddin faints, of course, with a bag full of hearts. Okay, that's actually a cute gag. All right, and then everyone's like, lady, what happened? Hey, excuse me. Ladies have a name. Manners are still a thing. You do not just call someone, lady, what happened? Because you know her name. All right, so another chef is like, let's give it our best, Mr. Husband. Okay, whatever, I got nothing on that one. And then Puddin's like, I removed the incident today from the chef's memories. In other words, as they're concerned, our ceremony went off without a hitch and we're married. Sanji. What the hell is that face? What is that face? Look at Can I zoom in more? No, damn it. Okay. Look at his face. Did Oda just like he drew like a rough sketch of Sanji's face? I got nothing. I have nothing to say. That's just oh my god. Oh man, somewhere right now, someone's going to use as their profile picture on YouTube. And you know what? I am immediately going to love them. I will give them all the thumbs up comments, no matter what they say. Unless they're racist Nazi, then fuck it. But alright, so anyway, the fucking face keeps distracting me from the word bubble. So Puddin continues to say, however, due to unforeseen bad weather, the wedding cake was ruined. Mama got mad and now we have to remake it as fast as possible. Well, with a face like that, I think you got it covered. God damn it, that face is hilarious. Okay, So she continues, that's the story we're working with. Their memories of making the cake for the first time are still there, clear as ever. Those will be quite helpful. And then the chefs on the other side of the room are just going like, who in the world drew up this diagram and wrote out this recipe? And someone's like, let me know if I got anything wrong, okay? And it's like, Mr. Husband, you did this? It's absolutely perfect. You even included the hidden flavors that Strussen took over a week to come up with. I heard you were quite skilled, but this is something else, mister. I actually did it. I called it. I actually called a panel. Look at this. Oh, it feels good. Well, all right. So, like I said earlier, there's the goddamn blueprint of the cake. Each tier layered with a with a different detail. How the hell did I call that? Whatever. Well, let's take a closer look at that cake, shall we? So we got a beautiful, you know, like stereotypical wedding with the ribbons around the bottom layer. Then you have skulls. I assume those are skulls on the next tier, which is kind of fucking creepy, but what the fuck ever. Followed by a couple castle towers. And then it goes back to the stereotypical cake design with the podium and the gazebo where the bride and groom stand in. All right, yeah, all right, that looks like a pretty good cake, just like any anime and manga. It makes all food look fantastic. All right, so moving on now, we then have this ox, cow, son of a fucking. There we go. Every time. All right. So anyway, this ox cow man basically just says, and oddly enough, this cake making process will be both of your first cooperative task as a married couple. And then Sanji grins while Puddin's face is on fire. It actually happened. I had one wish this entire arc, and that was for Puddin to have like a Diable Jambe to the face. And now, there it is, in full view. Her face is on fire. That's what I've wanted this entire time. True, I'm kind of disappointed that, you know, it didn't turn into, like, I didn't get this result from a Diable Jambe to the face, but you know what? At least her face is on fire. So we are all good. All right, so Sanji's like, you're right, huh? Makes me blush, and Puddin is down once again, and the cow ox thing is like, oh no, what's the matter, Mrs. Puddin? Hey, excuse you, Mrs. Puddin, that's not her name anymore, it's a couple. Her name is now Mrs. Vinsmoke. I know it takes a while to get names adjusted after a wedding, but manners are still manners. You control yourself. All right, so Chiffon's like, quit it, you'll kill her. No, please don't. Don't make me happy at all. So anyway, we move on to the creepiest evil Puddin stance I've seen in this entire thing. She's literally just doing this. Anyway, so now she's thinking, yeah. What is with these word balls? Yeah! A married couple? How cute! If you try to order me around as a husband, I'll strangle you, Sanji! Sanji doesn't even look at her. He's just going like, get these things together as quickly as possible. Non-homogenized milk, sugar beets, bananas, black sesame, roasted soybean powder, and yogurt. Lots of it. I wonder why you need lots of yogurt. I guess so that the cake has a creamy filling. That just sounds horrible. Moving on now. So the chef's like, Roger, and Puddin's like, my dear, oh, I just love how he ignores me, and yet he has feelings for me. He's just like my Sasuke Uchiha. Anyway, moving on now. So I'm just like, this is a race against the clock. Chiffon, the baking of that huge chiffon cake. Whatever. And Puddin, the tempering of the chocolate. Whatever. Can both of you finish your work in 2 hours and 40 minutes? 2 hours and 40 minutes. So this cake is going to be built in almost 3 hours. So basically, the Straw Hat crew has to avoid Big Mom and, not be killed by her or Katakuri or Parasparrow for 3 hours. I see no way that could possibly backfire in any conceivable fashion. I'm sure everyone will be hunky-dory by then. Alright, so anyway, Zanji just said, I'll put my secret plan into motion then. I'll show people the true face of sweetness. I'll take them to paradise. Bullshit! The true face of sweetness is Boa Hancock, and you know it. Anyway, moving on to the next page. Puin's like, the true face of sweetness? She's allowed to be confused. She doesn't know who Boa Hancock is. Alright, so Sanji's saying, we'll set sail in 3 hours, and while the cake is cooling, we'll add to the decorations at sea. We'll have the ultimate cake ready by the time we rendezvous with the Sunny. In 3 hours. 3 hours! So long as no one gets fucking murdered in 3 hours, while Big Mom is chasing them, they should be fine. I don't see it going fine for them, do you? No, or do I? No, I don't. Anyway, so Chipfog's like, I see, no time wasted, huh? Okay, 3 fucking hours. Okay, moving on. And then the chef says, but we'll be so rushed. 3 hours! I'm not a chef, so I don't know the logistics of cake baking, but I assume 3 hours is plenty of time to bake a cake. Joy Boy theories. Make a theory about how long would it take to cook Big Mom's cake normally. I expect it on my desk by Tuesday. So Chef Fawn's like, you have no choice. Do you want Mama to raise this place to the ground? Kind of. All right, so the chefs are like, we're so sorry, we'll follow your lead. And then Chiffon says, I gotta make this for the ones that saved Lola, my specialty, the heavenly fluffy chiffon cake. And then we go to Sanji's like, all right, let's cook. Just you wait, you lot. I'll show you real attack cooking. I feel like that's a callback to something, but for right now, all I can think of when I hear attack cooking is just a bunch of food items with Gordon Ramsay's face on them, just shouting at like whoever's looking at them. It's like, what are you looking at, you fatty? I've eaten this. It's rotten. Anyway, we then move on to Puddin working as well. It's like, I've got to help Sanji and the others escape with my sweet, sweet chocolate. Ugh. Moving on now. So I assume that's the end of their story arc. Yep, that's it. We now move on to the next page, and we're back in Mirror World, where Katakuri is like, who I will now give the voice of Liquid Snake. So you're still alive, huh, brother Peros? Just barely. Right now, I'm chasing after the ship with Mama. The determined little cowards. I see. And then, Luffy is down. Luffy is down. He only lasted 1 chapter, but Luffy is down. Damn it! I was hoping for like more of a fight, push Luffy to a corner and then Luffy just gets up and does some, Luffy shit, starts pulling off a win, but I guess he's just down for the count. Okay. So meanwhile, Parasparrow continues, what a miserably pathetic end. Pedro, I mean. Oi, are you even listening, Straw Hat? And, well, I mean, he's kind of listening, but he can't really say anything because his mouth is bleeding from the amount of shit he got knocked out of. And then Katakuri is just looking over somewhere and just like, oi, Broly. Oh, and Broly's here, and she does another word bubble where it just goes, Figure! Love these word bubbles. It's like, yes, brother. How long do you plan on dozing off? As long as you're asleep, these soldiers are stuck here. Look at his legs! Look at his goddamn legs! I thought there was going to be more, fat on them or more meat on them. Is it because of the mochi? I don't know, but whatever. I'm not going to question too much because if I have to question even the legs of a character, then what's the point? Okay, so we move on to the next page. And Captain Kirby's like, he probably thought he'd gallantly protect his crew, but look at this poor captain. Take the soldiers with you, and go set fire to his ship or something. Apparently it's still undamaged. And Luffy just like, argh. He does not like that one bit. And Brulee's like, I will, brother, Sister Brulee. A long neck person says as they're running over there. We found a mirror that can connect to the Straw Hat ship, and there should be one or two more. Then we get a close-up of Brulee's face. It's like, all right, let's go. I can't wait for Mama to crush them as they run about confused and terrified by the fire. Wee-hoo-wee. And then, Luffy's back in the fray, I guess. He tried punching the mirror, but he missed. And it was like, whoa, that was close. Luffy's back up. Okay, doing good. And then Luffy's like, give me that mirror. Oh, yeah, Luffy's still voiced by Solid Snake. Now and forever. And then he's like, don't you dare lay a hand on them. And then we have Tim Curry from Rocky Horror Picture Show with a long neck. Yeah, that looks like Tim Curry. On the right, this panel to the left, face on the right, that looks like Tim Curry from Rocky Horror Picture Show, accompanied by daughter of a giraffe and human, daughter of a giraffe and human couple. So both of them go, oh, God, and they even have their own they even have their own name boxes. 34th Charlotte's son, Mascarpone. 29th Charlotte daughter, Jose Capone. All right, so you know what? No, his name is not Mascarpone. His name shall be henceforth Mascarcurry. So Luffy starts running up, and he gets knocked down by Katakuri, and he's just looking like, what happened to our one-on-one, Straw Hat? And the long neck minions are going, yeah, I hate it when like minions of villains do that. You know, like the hero and the villain are having like a serious one-on-one battle, and then the side characters just laugh at them, and the main character's gonna do something, but then the main villain knocks them back, and then the side characters just laugh. Like, man, you suck. I know you could probably kill us if you just got your hands on us, but you know what? You can't. You just suck. And then eventually they just get murdered by the hero, or by an unintentional attack from the villain. Even that would be a sad loss, because then we would lose long neck Tim Curry. All right, so moving on now. Luffy, half his face is covered in blood, as he says, or bubbles. And Katakuri makes a Gatlin stamp mochi leg attack. Mochi Gatlin stamp. There we go. And it's like, you're the one that needs to stop laying hands on our brothers and sisters. And Luffy's doing his best to dodge each of his Mochi Gatlin stamp attacks. That sounded kind of like rhythmic there. And Luffy's going, God damn it. So then Luffy is looking at the mirrors, like, mirrors. He picks up a shard and yells, Oi, Nami! Nami! Come in, Nami. I'm getting my shit kicked in right now, Nami. I may need some help. So, we then go see Inside Totland at Sea. Alright, so Big Mom's fleet has caught up with the Straw Hats. Oh, good. So it wasn't just Big Mom that caught up with the Coupe de Burst. It's now the entire goddamn fleet. Not even the minor Straw Hat characters can catch a break. They did a Coupe de Burst, and they thought they tasted success for 5 seconds, and now they're literally back where they started. God damn it. Okay, so Luffy's still yelling like, Jinbei, can you hear me? Someone respond. And it's like, Luffy? Luffy, it's me. Are you okay? Says Nami. And meanwhile, everyone else is, I assume, just trying to fight off the cannonballs. As I think we hear Brook yell, "Oh, here come more!" Jinbei just looking over casually, just like, these cannonballs sure are a nuisance. And Luffy's like, there are still a few mirrors left on board, right? And in the men's quarters in the bathroom, break them all into smithereens. Oh boy. So I assume this means Luffy will be stuck forever on Whole Cake Island. Okay. So Luffy, no, I mean not Luffy, Nami say, what are you saying? We can't. You won't be able to come back. Brook is currently dying. Shit. I guess he's still weak from his battle with Big Mom. And Luffy say, I know, but I'll figure something out. I'll make do. And oh shit, they actually are, like, they're firing fire arrows from Zelda into the ship. They're trying to burn it down out of the mirror. So Brook notices this as he says, "Ah, the room's on fire! Water, get water!" I need to work on Brook's voice, for God's sake. I'm trying to match Ian Sinclair's voice, but I obviously can't do it. This is bad. Fire arrows are flying out of the mirror, and cannon fire from the seas. They're all just literally, like, how do I demonstrate this? They're literally, like, up to the mirror, just firing from this distance, like, ha ha ha, they're dead. All right, so Burley's like, wee, and Luffy runs up to them and say, stop. Let me guess what's going to happen in the next panel. Since Luffy is not focusing on Katakuri, he's just blitzing them, I assume he's going to get his shit kicked in 3, 2, 1. Next panel. You bastards. There he is. Yep, he got his shit kicked in one last time. That's what happens when you don't pay attention on your one-on-one, Luffy. All right, so Luffy gets kicked. And then Nami's saying, Luffy, are you okay? And Brule's like, everyone go into the ship. Follow me. Quickly, break them. Oh, wait, no, that's Luffy saying, quickly, break them. All of them. They're coming after you, and I can't stop them all. I need to focus on this guy. This one guy that's been kicking my ass for the past 5 minutes. I don't think I can take him. But I think I can take him. So Nami's like, huh? All right, everyone, all the mirrors on board. You need to. And Karen's like, Nami, this is bad. We can't outrun that. What are you talking? Holy goddamn! What in the holy mother of heckity? Whoa! Holy balls! Excuse me? Excuse me? She made a homie out of the goddamn water? What? Oh, what is that? Oh my god! That's amazing! That's pretty freaking amazing! Everyone's like, a tsunami! And then Nami's like, hey Luffy, I'm sorry, I think, as Big Mom just gives the biggest shit-eating grin there. It's like, we're done for. And that's the end. Absolute power and absolute despair. Jesus Christ. Look at Jesus! A tsunami! I got nothing. I have nothing. That's just something I didn't think that would happen. And then it fucking happened. I got nothing. The only other time we've seen anyone do that was when Whitebeard went to Marineford. First thing he did, walked up the steps of the Moby Dick, punched the air in both directions and caused 2 tsunamis. Just with the mere force of his devil fruit, and just goes giant tsunamis. And now here we have another Yonko, just casually making a tsunami out of, like, her devil fruit. Just goes to show you, that's a fucking Yonko. That's Yonko right there. You don't win. One does not simply win against the Yonko. I'm going to put that image on Broken the Ace's streams for right now, just for every chapter they talk about until this arc is over. One does not simply defeat the Yonko. How in the balls are they going to get out of this one? I assume that Aladdin and the rest of the fishmen that probably refused to take Jinbei's advice from earlier to leave, I assume they're going to like pop out of the sea and get Jinbei to join them to like cause like a part in the tsunami, I guess. That's the only thing I got. I got nothing else. I don't. That's just amazing. What else can I say? So that was chapter 880. How do I feel about this chapter? Well, the ending was fucking amazing. This chapter was... How do I put this? 879 was like the climax of the arc. Like it even said on the cover page, it was the climax. This is where things are going to hit not 10, but 11. So what happens next is that this is basically Oda throwing all the stops now. You know how in the Dark Knight, Harvey Dent's like, it gets the darkest just before the dawn. This is the darkest, right here. Luffy's down. The Straw Hat's about to be eaten by a tsunami. Sanji needs 3 fucking hours to make a cake, and yeah, they're out of options. They got nothing left. They got nothing. This is it. This is probably going to be the focus for the rest of the arc. Well, I assume the Straw Hats are going to escape, and then thanks to Sanji's cake, he'll get off scot-free with maybe pudding, and maybe, like, you know, in exchange for the cake, Big Mom will let Luffy go because she's obsessed with food. I don't know. It's anyone's guess at this point. I assume there's going to be, like, one last giant plot twist, one that no one saw coming, one that not even, like, Big Mom's forces saw coming. It's going to center around Big Mom. But that's it. That's all I got. That's just a good chapter. The first half showed how Sanji's going to make the cake, and then the second half just shows how everyone's going to get fucked. That's it. There's not much to say. I thought this was a pretty good chapter. There wasn't once that made me just go, like, there wasn't once in the chapter there that made me think this is dragging on for a little bit. Everything got set up fine. Everything for the next chapter got set up. We have 3 simple storylines. One where it's the Straw Hat survival on the ship, Luffy versus Katakuri, and then Sanji and the cake. I assume Sanji and the cake, that won't even really be like its own little storyline, because, you know, that's going to be gone for a couple of chapters. It's really going to focus on Luffy and the rest of the crew. But it's all going to reconvene probably in, like, 5 to 10 chapters or whatever. I got nothing. This was just a pretty good chapter. I just had a thought that came to my head. Like, of course, Sanji needs to have like one more moment. I can't just say that Sanji's going to make the cake without any consequence. That seems very unlikely. I assume that that something's going to happen. Maybe Bobbin's going to come back in the story and just try to kill Sanji for revenge. I don't know. That'd be pretty cool. That's right. Last night, Theory 2, shout out by the way, he posted that, oh yeah, I'm going to be back in the fray doing One Piece content. I'm going to do One Piece content. And I put a picture of Palpatine's like, that's right, Theory 2, welcome back. Execute Order 66. And then Theory 2 put up just like a picture of Germa 66. And that just made me think, fuck! Germa 66 has literal clone troopers. So, in a way, a very possible ending to this arc is that the Vince Smokes unleash the clone army on Big Mom so that everyone can get away. Maybe that's the big plot twist. Maybe that's it. Because we saw their army of clones one chapter, and then They were just never heard from again. They're making a comeback. I bet they are. All right, I rambled on long enough. I thought this chapter was pretty good. I got really no big complaints, aside from Puddin still being alive, but whatever. And that's pretty much it. I am going to do another stream pretty soon. I'm not exactly sure when, but I have an Elgato capture system, and I'm going to be playing some Smash Brothers. So maybe I'll see you all then. Until the next video, which might be in a couple hours or so. Until then, or whenever I see you all again, thank you so much for watching, and take care.